Hey guys, I'm Karl. Welcome to my movie film show. Feel free to subscribe down below if you would like to. But once again, it's that time of year where everybody shares their favorite movies of the year. And I'm no different because I'm coming at you today with my top 5 movies of 2022. Now, I just did a video on my top 5 worst movies of 2022 where I said it was harder to choose the worst movie of 2022 because there were so many more contenders for that than there was for best movie. Although, what I will say and what I will state before we get into it is that not everybody watches every movie within a year. I've done my best to watch as many as I can, but everybody's going to have a difference of opinion. Nobody's going to agree on everything, so more than likely you're not going to agree with everything on my list. And if you don't, let me know all about it in the comment section below because I would love to know your top 5 movies of 2022. I haven't been watching the most artistic movies of the year. A lot of them are very mainstream, and I just made this list based on what I enjoyed, not on anything else, not on what's the most artistically brilliant movie, what had the best message, simply what I enjoyed. I don't think there's any better measurement of a movie than that. So kicking things off with number 5 on my top 5 movies of 2022 list, almost forgot the name of my own video. In at number 5 was Elvis. Shockingly, Elvis was a story of Elvis Presley. You may have heard of him. You know, he's a little known musician from America. He had some hit songs, had some funny costumes, some big glasses. Baz Luhrmann's Elvis movie is one of the best biographical pictures I've seen in a long, long time. But on top of the Elvis story, it was just a really good movie. It was very well told. It was very well shot. It was very entertaining all the way through. And even if you didn't know a lot of Elvis's story, you'll learn a lot throughout that movie. Certainly one of the more enjoyable movies of 2022. In number 4 is a movie I reviewed just yesterday on the channel. The review's over here, or which side is it? Is it this side? It's up here. Check out if you want to check it out. It'll also be in the description, as will all reviews for all these movies that I have on the channel. Yes, in at number 4 is Top Gun Maverick. It's a movie which I put off and put off and put off seeing. And when I finally watched it, I said, why didn't I watch that sooner? Because it was one hell of a movie. A movie which clearly had a lot of passion in it from Tom Cruise. A movie which had great excitement and some stunning visuals. And a movie which, if you haven't checked it out already, I would highly recommend checking out Top Gun Maverick. And now we're getting into the top 3 where things did start to get a little bit difficult because I had a list of about 10 movies and what I wanted to fit in top 5 was quite difficult. But I chose for number 3, Avatar: The Way of the Water. Now, when I reviewed it fairly recently, I gave it an 8 out of 10. I believe I said I think it wasn't the best movie of the year. I do stand by that. I don't think it was the best movie of the year, but on reflection, it was a movie I really enjoyed. I found myself just sitting there, getting engrossed in the story and caught up in the fantastic visuals and caught up in the fantastic action. And I think it was a very, very well told story. In saying that, I had a list of about 10 movies, and that's because there was about 10 movies that were ever going to make it on my list this year. The choices for best movie of 2022 were slim in my opinion. I don't think it was the best year for movies. Initially, I had Pinocchio on the list. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Other honourable mentions include Chip and Dale, The Rescue Rangers, and that's mainly for a nostalgia point of view, because it was a very fun, very nostalgic movie. Although, to claim it was one of the best movies of 2022, I don't think it did quite enough to make it into the list. Another honourable mention, Black Adam. Black Adam was possibly the best superhero movie of 2022. It's a movie I super enjoyed. See what I did there? But then again, it did also cause the downfall of the DCU. So that's the thing. And also, it was a phenomenal year for horror movies. Smile is a movie I really enjoyed despite not being a major horror fan. Barbarian was fantastic. The Black Phone was phenomenal too. And there's plenty more that I didn't even get around to seeing. I've been told X and Pearl were fantastic. I never got around to seeing them because, as I mentioned, I'm not a big horror fan. Maybe I should check them out. Let me know in the comment section below. And of course, another honorable mention that doesn't quite make my list is The Banshees of Inisherin. Controversial movie at times. A movie which initially I put out saying I didn't enjoy it, and then I changed my opinion after it wouldn't get out of my head for a week. And now that it's on Disney Plus, people are posting very positive reviews about it here in Ireland. And there's a lot of Oscar buzz around it, but it doesn't quite make my top 5. Now we get into the top 2 for 2022. And I'm pretty sure this is where my list is going to be controversial because I don't think anyone else is going to have these 2 movies as their top 2 movies of 2022. But as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm basing this purely on what I enjoyed the most in the movie theater as a moviegoer. And for me, in at number 2 is The Northman, a movie by Robert Eggers earlier in the year. It was a phenomenal movie, which at the time I even said it needed more support. It needed more push from the studio. It just needed more eyes on it, basically, because I personally found that story to be phenomenal. It was phenomenally well told. The action was fantastic. They didn't shy away from the brutality of the Vikings. And maybe that's one thing that would put a lot of people off this movie is the brutality within the movie, because you are getting people getting decapitated and a horse getting torn apart and put up on a wall. And the movie does have its weirdness to it, but overall, it was just a phenomenal, unique, very well told movie. And Hollywood is often criticized for not giving unique, original movies a chance. And The Northman was certainly one of those. It wasn't a reboot, it wasn't a remake, it wasn't a superhero movie. It's a movie that deserves a lot more praise and attention. And hopefully it's the sort of movie we see a lot more of going forward. For me, it was certainly one of the most enjoyable cinema experiences of 2022. Although, as I say, I'm sure there won't be many people that has it in their top 5 list. Certainly not a number 2. Although I could be wrong. Then number 1, the best movie of 2022 on my top 5 movies of 2022 list, again, is a controversial one. Because at the time, when it came out, a lot of people loved it. And a lot of people didn't love it. But for me, the best movie of 2022 was The Batman. Yes, a superhero movie. And yes, a controversial one, as I say, because some people didn't enjoy it. Some people didn't like the fact that his alter ego was an accountant, the Riddler. Some people didn't like some things about it, and I'm sure people have legitimate reasons for not liking it, but I was just enthralled in that movie all the way through. Some of the things they did within the movie were fantastic, and sure, it was dark, but then again, it's a Batman movie. It reminded me a lot of the Arkham games. I think it was one of the best Batman live action movies we've seen so far, in my opinion. I did at the time put a clickbaity title of better than The Dark Knight. I don't think it's better than The Dark Knight. I do think it's up there, though, amongst those Christopher Nolan movies. I think it's up there as one of the best Batman movies, and I'm really excited for the second one. I think the Riddler was a really good character. They had a lot of twists and turns in there, and even when he's caught, when they set off the bombs at the end of the movie and flood the city, that was really well done. It's something I really like in movies, where they don't really give the superhero a chance to save the day, because by the time the superheroes figured it out, it's too late. It's like the scene in it when Batman is trying to get home. Robert Pattinson's trying to get home. He's trying to ring Alfred to warn him about the bomb, and by the time he gets in touch with someone, it's already gone off. Alfred's already gone to hospital. Some phenomenal twists and turns, and a great performance by Robert Pattinson, an actor who I didn't understand the casting of when he was cast, because it didn't seem to make a lot of sense. You look at Robert Pattinson and I just think of Twilight. I don't think of Batman. But in my opinion, he did a phenomenal job in the role. And I think going forward, he's going to go from strength to strength. Sure, he was a moody Batman, but Batman's pretty damn moody. It's a movie I saw 3 or 4 times this year. It's one of the movies I watched the most this year. I think Colin Farrell truly phenomenal in it. Even still, if you told someone who hadn't seen the movie, didn't know anything about it, if you told them that's Colin Farrell playing the Penguin, I think they'd still be shocked. The makeup and the costume design there were phenomenal. And yes, the movie was a little bit long. Certainly the end, the final scene where Batman and Catwoman are driving away on their motorbikes, and then they're driving in separate roads, look at each other in the mirror. That certainly could have been a lot shorter. There's just a wrap up at the end, perhaps let the movie down a little bit. But overall, I really, really enjoyed that movie. And in my opinion, it was the most enjoyable cinema experience of 2022. But as I say, I'm sure a lot of people disagree with that. And if you do, let me know all about it in the comment section below. And more importantly, let me know your top 5 movies of 2022 in the comment section below. Again, it's generally always below.